I never imagined the nightmare of losing my first home to a ruthless HOA battle was just a prelude to something far worse. Back then, 4 years ago, I'd poured my heart into turning that old place into an off-grid haven, solar arrays, battery banks, the whole setup. But the HOA slammed me with lawsuits over unauthorized energy mods, draining my savings in a brutal 9-month fight. I ended up selling at a loss, ripping out every wire like I was gutting my own dreams. Those board members watched from their sleek cars, smug as hell, while I loaded my life into a truck. I swore I'd never let that happen again. Fast forward to 9 months ago, when I escaped to this secluded lakeside cottage in a sleepy coastal village. It felt like a fresh start, solid foundation, room for my tools, and a detached garage I converted into a top-notch electrical workshop. I'm Ryan, 37 now, a commercial electrician with nearly 2 decades under my belt. Fixing grids, installing backups, you name it, I live for the hum of a well-wired system. But expertise doesn't shield you from power-hungry busybodies. The trouble crept in subtly, like a faulty circuit building heat. I'd been there barely 5 weeks, tinkering on a custom inverter setup, when she appeared, Marjorie. Mid-50s, ex-corporate exec who'd traded boardrooms for neighborhood tyranny. Folks whispered she was the HOA enforcer, always in tailored slacks and a pearl necklace, eyes sharp as voltmeters scanning for flaws. Her first friendly check-in targeted my breaker box, wrong shade of beige, apparently disrupting the coastal aesthetic. Then my outdoor conduits were visually intrusive, and my stormproof generator enclosure? A uniformity violation. I laughed it off at first, but her words dripped with that fake authority. I oversaw multi-million-dollar deals. I know non-compliance when I see it. Bullshit, but she delivered it like gospel. The citations piled up, slapped on my door like accusations. I pored over the HOA bylaws that night, heart racing with echoes of my old defeat, the lawyers, the dread of mail. This rulebook was a maze of contradictions, weaponized legalese. Then came the ultimatum, hand-delivered with her icy grin. Fix your hazardous setups, or face enhanced enforcement. What the hell did that mean? My gut twisted. I bolted the doors extra tight, paranoia whispering she'd stop at nothing. I was debating surrender, rip it all out, to buy peace when fate knocked. It was a crisp Wednesday. This sharp-dressed guy, mid-40s, expensive leather briefcase in hand, introduced himself as Nathan, federal auditor on leave, probing utility scams and grid manipulations. I ran a quick online search later. 0 hits, like he'd erased himself. Risky, but something clicked. Maybe his presence would scare off Marjorie. He crashed in the guest suite, kept quiet, laptop humming, murmured calls. But on day 3, I vented about the HOA docs, and his interest ignited like a spark on dry tinder. He dissected them. These forms are Docto Red Team stamps faked, signatures forged. He pulled case files from his phone, walking me through digital forensics. This wasn't petty nitpicking. It was criminal fraud, tampering, crossing federal lines. My harassment? Part of a bigger play, he said, eyes narrowing. That night, alone with the bylaws, I saw it. Not about wires, but control. Who decides what stays powered? Days dragged tense. Marjorie vanished, briefly spooked by Nathan, but resurfaced with venom. She cornered me. Your visitor runs an unlicensed op. Disclose or evict by week's end. I snapped back. It's my damn house. But her rule quote chilled me. Pre-approval for all guests. Nathan emerged, voice steel. Pushing unauthorized audits? That's code breaches, ma'am. She snapped pics of my panels, fury flashing, muttering I'd regret it. Next dawn, workers mounted a hulking camera on a pole laser focused on my garage setup, not the road. It whirred, tracking my every move, that red eye blinking like a predator. Nathan draped a cloth over it. Marjorie rang seconds later, screeching about safety sabotage. Then the blackout hit mid-afternoon. No weather, just dead silence. Utility line blamed my rogue connections. 6 hours offline, fridge ruined, schematics lost. Rage boiled. Was this her enforcement? Nathan and I dug into HOA finances. Phantom $7,000 electrical bills, no contractors, bogus transformer checks in a transformer-free zone. A neighbor, Mr. Langley, whispered over the fence. Not everyone's on board with her vendetta. She's breaking folks for sport. An anonymous tip emailed Nathan. She's unraveling, watch your back. Nightmares haunted me. My cottage ablaze. HOA suits jotting notes as panels melted. The camera's hum invaded my sleep. This was siege warfare, psychological erosion. Friday shattered the fragile calm. Wind howled ominously. Birds fell silent. Nathan and I exchanged glances, storm brewing. The pounding rattled the walls. Marjorie, flanked by two burly maintenance goons, utility van idling with cones and gear. Mandatory grid audit under clause 15.2. She barked, clipboard thrust like a decree. Multiple infractions demand entry. I blocked the path. You're no inspector, get a warrant. Her smile curdled. HOA empowers us for safety. They eyed the garage dormy sanctuary, reinforced after the last loss. Whispers of emergency protocols. Then the crowbar slammed home. Wood splintered, locks shredded, echoes like thunder. They barged in, Marjorie striding over scattered tools, oblivious to live wires sparking. Violations surged through my trauma reborn. My rebuilt world invaded again. You think a badge on paper lets you destroy lives? I muttered, fists clenched. She poked at breakers, all under my purview. But as she advanced, Nathan loomed in the shadows, the trap springing. Cops rolled up minutes later, noise complaint, maybe. Two officers eyed the wreckage. Busted door, me fuming, Nathan calm. Reports of squatting and fake feds, one said, turning to him. Nathan unfolded his creds deliberately. Special Agent Nathan Hale, on sabbatical from energy fraud probes. He laid it out, recordings of Marjorie plotting falsified logs, videos of the break-in, dossiers of embezzled funds through sham upgrades. The officer's jaws dropped. This ties to interstate laundering HOAs as fronts for millions in ghost contracts. Marjorie's facade crumbled. Shock, denial, babbling protests. Cuffs clicked poetic under my high voltage, authorized only sign. Her goons bolted, then screeching away. Satisfaction flooded me, but Nathan's glance hinted deeper shadows. She's a pawn. The real players won't quit. Word exploded through the village. Neighbors I'd ignored flooded my porch with tales. The Whitakers, retirees, stripped of their wind turbine after saving for years. Another fine for overly luminous security lights. Marjorie isolated us, making each feel alone in her web. But now, solidarity bloomed. We ousted her board, axed absurd regs, redirected funds to real fixes like a lakeside pavilion where her foreclosed home stood. I reforged the door into a sculpture. Twisted metal frame etched, threshold breached, power reclaimed. Nathan lingered, unraveling threads. My cottage was no accident, targeted it. We've tracked this syndicate for 2 years, he confessed over coffee, files splayed. Your past complaints flagged you as the perfect insider, resilient, observant. Stung, I realized I'd been bait. My ordeal cracking a vast net. Forged permits, siphoned millions via safety scams across 4 states. Raids hit like lightning, 15 arrests, exposing corruption from local tyrants to state officials. Marjorie, 18 months federal time, $52,000 restitution including $9,000 to me. Bankrupt, homeless, now stocking shelves at a supply depot, flinching at every badge. Tragic, Amist Power's illusion shattered. Me? I channeled the payout into a pro bono hub for grid-harassed homeowners, teaching code defenses in that pavilion. Wires became weapons against bullies. But victory's bittersweet. Was justice served, or just one fuse blown in a rotten system? What do you think? Should HOAs have this much unchecked power, or are they breeding grounds for mini dictators? Ever fought back against a neighborhood overlord and won? Or lost everything? Spill your wildest tales below. Did it make you stronger, or swear off communities forever? Hit like if this fired you up, subscribe for more real-life showdowns, and let's debate. Is revenge sweet, or does it just perpetuate the cycle?